Hey, Twist the World fam. We just got done recording this episode, but wanted to give you a little insight and heads up. When you get a chance, if you're starting to listen to this episode, pause it. We have posted the video that goes along with this episode. Something we're doing for this one because we believe it is imperative that you see this video. So check it out. We're going to post it on all of our social media sites. Again, just follow the link, watch the video. It's less than 2 minutes. And then listen to this episode. Thank you guys. We love you. Let us know what you think.
Just left your regularly scheduled program for a special news bulletin from our partners in Twisted World.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for a special news bulletin from Twisted World.
What is up, Twisted World? We are back with my boys, as always, Cody and Andy. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Yo.
So, before we get into anything, hey, I just want to, thank all you guys out there for following us, listening. If you guys could do us a huge, big favor, jump on our Facebook page. You'll see there's a tab at the top that says podcast. Click on it. Pick your favorite episode. If you guys wouldn't mind just sharing it and saying, hey, this was our favorite episode. This is what we liked about it. Or just sharing it and not putting anything. Either way, we would absolutely appreciate it as we continue to grow and just bring you guys more mysteries and conspiracy theories and legends and all that fun stuff. So the topic is something I have no idea what we're really going to be doing here. And so I'm gonna hand it over to my boy Cody, and he's gonna kick it off.
Yeah. Okay. So we just showed you a video right before we pressed record.
Yes.
Right.
It's a short one.
Yeah.
It was like a minute and 50 seconds. I mean,
Yeah.
There was a little bit of stuff going on in that video.
Right. Well, just for our viewers' sake, Aaron, can you just kind of describe to me what we showed you a second ago? It's going to be the video we're talking about today. It's the
and we'll go in detail, but we want to
Right.
get your reaction
Yeah,
to seeing this blind.
just initial thoughts right away.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So the black and white vibe kind of got a little eerie Blair Witch thing going on, and then here's this dude that reminded me of if probably dating myself. I don't know. Mad Magazine is still in production, right? It's been a while since I read one.
I know that they've made games of what you're referencing.
Yeah, so Spy versus Spy, one of the coolest things in Mad Magazines, the two guys with the arrow faces. So there's this guy kind of looking like, Spy versus Spy in a dark robe, throwing up gang signs and with some eerie sounds going on. And like I said, standing in the Blair Witch cabin. So that's what I got.
So other than that, was there anything else that like stood out?
Yeah.
In the video?
Well, I mean, he did this other thing with like an eye in his hand, and it flashed a bunch of times. It's a good thing I don't have epilepsy. So
True.
If you've got epilepsy, be wary when you watch that video. And there's a lot of like motion of him, fading in and out and some weird stuff. And that's where I'm at.
Would you watch it again?
Probably not. Because I like to have good dreams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If I knew what it was behind it, which I'm assuming you guys are going to tell me, maybe.
I think we should start with the story, like a backstory. So we'll let Cody kind of run with the backstory of it all, and then we can slowly start to dissect this thing because there's definitely a lot going on that you're not even aware of. The first time I watched it, I was like, "This is dumb and stupid, and why is this happening?" When you start digging into it, it becomes probably one of the most interesting and at the same time confusing things all in one. It's one of those things where as soon as I started watching things, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Why is this happening? Who would do this? Why would they do this? So let's just jump into the story and see what we got.
Yeah. We have a lot of questions, obviously. I hear what you're saying. Like initially it looked kind of creepy, kind of weird. But as we dig deeper into it, it is truly nightmare fuel is what it is.
Oh,
right.
Fantastic.
It's horrifying. So anyway, let's just start from the very beginning. Well, the title of this video, I don't know if you noticed it, but the title of the video is 11B-X-1371.
Do we know why it was named that?
Yeah, that's what I want.
I will get to that part.
I do.
But first I want to just say when this first happened, how we got to that name, because there's even a story that goes to how do we get to that name, right? So It first appeared, the video, it first appeared on 4chan, okay, in 2015. And the person who posted it claimed that they found a DVD sitting on a park bench, and they uploaded the ISO, which is just the digital version of the DVD, onto 4chan for everybody to watch, right? The very next day, or I guess it should tell you what, what portion of 4chan it was posted. It was posted to the paranormal boards. If anyone's familiar with 4chan, they know what the paranormal boards are. It's basically where they put a bunch of spooky stuff,
like what is this? Why explain this?
Exactly. Like
right.
we should talk about this. Like it's just for paranormal type videos, ghosts, all that fun stuff. So it was posted there, saying it was really weird. They were really freaked out about this video. It's strange, whatever. Anyway, moving on. The next day, the video was uploaded to a YouTube channel. Okay, the name of this YouTube channel was AETBX, all caps, AETBX. Okay, the title of that video that they uploaded was a string of binary.
And the description.
Yeah. The description and the title were in binary.
Well, and so real quick, the person that put it on 4chan is not the same person that put it on YouTube?
We don't know.
We don't know that. We suspect that it's not, but we don't know that.
Okay. I'm curious.
So, when it was uploaded, it was in binary, right? And if our viewers, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what binary is, but it's a string of ones and zeros. So it's like 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 1, right? It's just weird. Like it's just like
it usually is in a random order of about 8 characters, and that 8 characters can be translated into text. Right. If that makes sense. Like you can translate it into English,
computer speak,
or whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all in binary, but when you translate the title of the video, it translates to a word called muerte, which is Spanish for death.
Oh,
okay. Much like our mortis episode, right? Latin mortis, but this one is muerte, which is Spanish for death, right?
Yeah.
The description, when translated, says you have 1 year less, and that's it.
I'm sorry, what?
You have 1 year less.
So the video,
it's almost like a curse.
The video name is called Death. The description says you have 1 year less.
Right.
Okay.
So it's kind of like one of those things you get texted. If you don't forward this to 5 friends, you'll die in 5 years or something like that.
Chainmail.
Right. Exactly. Like a chainmail thing, kind of, spammy looking.
So this wasn't even what made it big, because at this point it was kind of just still small. Nobody really knew about it, but I know that it got sent.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But yes,
more.
So
There's more.
Oh, I have tons more. I'll get to all that in a minute. So
do we want to know the more?
I mean,
you gotta know the story. You gotta know how it comes out, because
like, am I going to die now that I watched that video?
I mean, who's to say?
This,
I'm still alive. I saw it a few years ago.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, if something happens to you tomorrow, then we know that this video is
muerte.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Okay, so, and moving on, we would find out later in an interview that AETBX, the YouTube channel owner who uploaded this video in binary, claims that a girl sent him an email containing this video, and they claim that the girl found it in a park bench who emailed to her. So this is some random person who found it in a park bench, much like the 4chan post we saw, and now is emailing it to the owner of this YouTube channel, to which then he uploads with the binary.
That's the only thing I would question, is like the binary is a bit odd.
Yeah, why didn't you just upload it?
I don't know. It's I've got more questions than I do answers here, and you're going to find that's a common theme in this episode, but still interesting to talk about. So there's that. That's just something to note as we continue. So, but getting to that point Andy was making is that this is kind of a small scale kind of thing. This is kind of like, hey, a 4chan meme right now. Here, look at this video. It's kind of creepy. And then also there's other YouTube video that popped up, the very next day, right? So
of the same video?
Yeah, it's the same video. Same video. Yeah. Same video.
Somebody's just trying to get liked.
Yeah, just spreading it around. It's 2015. I mean, things happen. So
for sure.
Okay, so, but another, much like the DVD was left on a park bench, another DVD, a copy, was sent in a package to a Swedish tech company. Okay, and the tech company, I know, very strange.
It was a tech blog. So they would blog about things.
Right, it's a site.
It's called gadgetzz.com.
Are they big? Moderate
I mean,
size?
as big as Swedish tech sites can be. Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, this is where...
I don't follow a lot of Swedish tech sites. So.
Yeah. Well, that'll tell you how big they are.
Yeah, but this is where it starts to pop. This is where the notoriety and popularity of this comes from, is because they do an article on this
Right. So they write this article detailing exactly what the package was, how they got it.
I think there's even photos of the DVD and what's written on it. And
Right. So basically, it's a small package, and then inside it's like a little CD casing, kind of thing. For like, there's not like a DVD on the cover, and it's like on the cover, it's got the Plague Doctor guy with his thumbs up or anything like that. No, it's not no cover art, just a little blank little CD holder.
So now I know why you guys made me watch the video. So you watch this video, and then you guys tell me about all this eerie stuff, and I'm over here like getting chills through my spine.
We haven't even gotten to the eerie stuff yet.
Yeah, no, this is all just backstory.
This is just backstory.
So anyway,
I'm like, can we go back to talking about Freemasons and
future episode? We'll
let's
see.
go.
So written on the blank CD casing is another string of computer language. It's it's called base 64. Yeah, it's base 64, and it's just basically like a series of capital letters and lowercase letters, and I think there's numbers in there too. I think it's like a 3. It's like 1 digit, but anyway. So base 64, and it's just, and when translated to plain text, after you take the base 64, you run through a decoder or whatever, translates to the title of the video we know today, which is 11B-X-1371. Okay, and that's where that title comes from.
Because the site is where a lot of the popularity of the video and everything came from. That's what they titled it, and so therefore it's been titled that sense.
But we have no idea what this means.
No, we don't know. We know what that base 64 meant, but we don't know what
why they put that in.
Why we don't know what 11BX or 11B-X-1371 is. Right. We don't know what that means.
Okay.
We don't know if there's any correlation to that. Maybe it's a key to something later on. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. So now that we're at the point where we know where this video came from, or somewhat where this video came from, and then somewhat how it's named, right? Let's talk about what's in the video. Okay. So what was the first thing you noticed when watching the video?
I mean, other than the spy versus spy creepy guy?
Right. So it's a Plague Doctor mask. It's that's what it is. Plague Doctor. It's a costume.
Yeah.
And he is wearing a specific mask with I don't know if there's a specific intent to it, but that's just the costume he goes with.
Is this from like some movie or something? I've never.
No, not really.
The plague they were used during.
The Plague Doctor mask.
It's from war.
Is it from the war, or it's from when like the Black Plague? Right.
Right.
They wore these.
That's what doctors wore to show people that they were a doctor.
Correct. And it kind of looks like a crow or a raven. It comes out real long nose, has 2 little goggle eyes.
It's that nose is supposed to be is the reason why they had them so long like that is so they would have people stay that far apart from them, and they would never breach that barrier so the doctor wouldn't get sick.
And this goes back to like the 1600s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can actually find them in Assassin's Creed games. When you play Assassin's Creed, that's how you get little health potions. Nice. You have to go see a plague doctor.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, Ezio Auditore goes and sees the plague doctor.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy's dressed up in this plague doctor outfit. It is black and white, and the eerie sounds.
Right.
And then again, he's throwing up Crips and Bloods and whatever else he's doing.
Right.
Okay, so Crips and Bloods.
You're talking gang signs.
You're talking about the hand symbols that he's doing with his hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like what you said about the sound, because that was the first thing that jumped out at me about this thing. Immediately when I listened to it, chills down my spine because of the sound.
Well, it's eerie. It's
scary
super,
movie.
Super creepy, and it doesn't seem to have any intent.
My sensory goes nuts when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I immediately I'm like, fear. I'm like, no. Well, I cannot deal with loud noises and also creepy noises like that.
Yeah.
They're really high frequencies and they really mess with me. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what those frequencies are.
Oh, they mean something.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they're not in there to instill fear that the plague doctor's coming to kill you.
No.
That's what I thought. And I even said that to Cody. He goes, oh, no. There's more to it than that.
Oh.
Yeah. So are you familiar with what a spectrogram is?
Yeah, it's sound with color. Right.
Yeah, it basically gives you a visual representation of what the sound waves are doing.
Right.
Yeah, what they look like.
For instance, we record the podcast. A lot of times we talk over each other, and there's bleed over, right? From us being close, we don't have sound, whatever. I can use spectrography inside of Audition to be able to edit it, and all it is the wave form, right? And it shows it like a red, like almost like a fire, like a flame coming up. And it allows me to see the differences in our voice and go, oh, that's noise not supposed to be there, this and that. So it allows me to see a picture of what the sound looks like, so I can identify Aaron, I can identify Cody.
Typically, they would just look like waves or different colors and things like that. However, in this case, in the beginning of the video, the first, I think, 30 seconds, and I've seen it visually represented. So basically what happens is it's a string of text that's going over in the and here Andy will show you. That's what it looks like. And it's a string of text that reads, "You are already dead." Okay? That's what it's saying
Now,
right there.
Mind you,
That's the sound waves. what you're
mind
looking
you,
at.
most of the time this technology is used after the fact. This is actually, they took an image or images
Yeah,
and used it to create the sound,
correct. They reverse engineered.
reversing it.
Yeah,
So rather than it creating a sound
And that's what it sounded like.
that's what
You
it
were
sounds
already
like.
dead? That's
You're
what it sounded
listening
like?
to "You're Already Dead," and then after that, for the rest of the video, you are seeing. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Can you tell me what that is? Can you describe what you're seeing?
No.
Okay, so those are murder victims.
these are homicide photos.
Yeah, one of them being a murder victim of the Boston Strangler. Just FYI.
Yeah, not necessarily anything new, but
I'm
these
going
are
home. I'm done.
Those are murder victims. Those are dead bodies. Those are deceased.
But like
people.
you're looking at it, I mean, explain. It's kind of hard. We're on audio, right? But these are literally images, like photos as you would see them in front of you, Polaroids, the kind of thing, and they're literally being built in the wave of the audio,
converted into sound.
right? So you see her; she's tied up and mangled, and
So when you're listening to this video, you're listening to images of dead people. Just keep that in mind.
again, the video's named "Death." Let's just put that out there. At one point in time,
Yeah. At one point in time, this video was
I'm
banished for
already
death.
feeling like I may
Oh.
have lost more than 1 year at this point.
Right. That is the beginning. Okay.
That right there,
Um,
you're done.
So let's just get Aaron's thoughts real quick. Like, what's your immediate reaction
feeling
to
right
that?
now?
How do you feeling? You know,
Okay, so I mean, I used to watch a lot of scary movies,
right?
and I honestly I don't know if anything. I mean, like I've watched the Blair Witch and things like that. I would put this up there. I mean, this is like why has nobody made a scary movie behind this? Like, you guys would be making millions, Hollywood. What is going on? Like, this is eerie as all get out. Somebody took the time to get pictures of not just people that are deceased. We're talking about murdered
like serial killer.
serial killer stuff and embedding it into sound. And then the sound just happens to come out creepy in itself.
Now we're bringing the sound to the forefront because it's the first thing you hear. It's the
Right.
first thing that affects you. However, it's probably not the first thing that was deciphered in the video because a lot of what you see is visual. The sound is kind of just there to make you feel eerie.
Well, yeah,
They had to dig in to get to that part. And so some of those other things, I don't want to say they tie back to this, but it all put the big kind of nasty, ugly looking picture into place.
Right.
After you start looking at some of the other things that happened in the video.
And,
Yeah.
And so far, so just to recap, we have a DVD that popped up on a park bench. 4chan, this person found it, put it on 4chan, and then it popped up on YouTube, and then this Swedish company gets a hold of it, and then they write up reports on it, and here we are, and people have dug into it and found all kinds of stuff that is beyond not okay.
Right. Yes. Extremely creepy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
So moving right along, before we get too far away from the audio, I do want to mention one more thing about the audio. Along with those, grotesque images, there's also a faint whisper that's happening during the audio. You maybe not picked it up. It takes a very, very trained ear to hear what's actually going on back there. And it's actually whispers chanting, "We are the antivirus." Okay.
It actually says this. It says the eagle equals infected will spread his disease. We are the antivirus, will protect the world body.
Wait, say it one more time. The eagle what?
It says, this is the entire phrase. It says, plain text, that basically in the audio whispered says, the eagle equals infected, will spread his disease. We are the antivirus, will protect the world body.
Okay. Yeah, creepy, right?
So I'm guessing the eagle's referring to America.
Well, hold on there. You're jumping ahead of
That's
yourself.
a good jump there.
That's a
good
really
jump.
good. That's a really good connector. And
Well, yeah, I mean, just bald eagle. Right?
Well, initially you don't think that, and then when more comes out,
we'll reinforce that
All
idea
right.
here in a minute.
All right.
So during this video, you probably saw some things kind of pop up on the screen and flash for a minute, right? You saw those little blips here and there, of like the triangle, and then there's like the hand, the Morse code thing, right? And there's graffiti in the background. So there was a series of letters that popped up in the video from time to time, they would like flash up like a series of letters would pop up and then disappear, and then another series. If you were to cut the video and mash all the points in time where all the letters came together and overlay them on top of each other, it would spell out, strike an arrow through the heart of the eagle. Okay. Right?
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, like,
Yeah.
So now we have two references to eagle.
right. We have two references to the eagle. One of them says the eagle is a virus, will spread
It's infected. It's going to spread its disease.
Exactly. And that they are the antivirus, right? And that it's telling you to strike down the eagle, right? So, let's see. There's.
So I don't know if you noticed that when we're watching the video, there's graffiti on the back behind him that keeps coming and going.
Yeah.
It's like disappearing and it changes.
Right.
Every time he turns his head, it's a new one.
I figured it was, again, just another
Yeah.
camera ploy to make
Right.
this more eerie and
More creepy.
Yeah.
So you noticed the hand he was holding up to do the Morse code, right?
Well,
Or well,
the
to
blinking
do the
light,
blinking,
right?
It is,
looked like
it
an
is
eye.
Morse code,
The flashing eye or whatever was in his
Correct.
hand.
right?
Yes.
So that's Morse code.
Okay.
And it's Morse code for red lips like 10th. Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a phrase. It just says red lips like 10th.
That's
Okay.
what Morse could...
That's what
what
the
it
Morse
said.
code
Yes,
says.
and it
Okay?
actually was like people were trying to figure out why it was this for like the longest time, and then they went back and were looking at some of the other like decrypted stuff, and they're trying to make sense of it all, and then that's where the correlation with the eagle came into play, and so people started to determine, well, maybe this has something to do with more than just red lips like 10th, and so people started to decipher that just that phrase to determine what it said, and it's an anagram.
Can you guess what the anagram is? What it means? Are you writing it down right now?
Red
to try and figure it
lips,
out?
Red
like
lips like
10th.
10th.
Right.
And it's the word 10th, not a number.
No, I mean, it would take me a minute.
Yeah. You wanted to go ahead and just tell him, Cody?
Yeah. So what's the anagram?
So the anagram means kill the president. Okay. Very plainly. That's what the anagram resolves to.
When was this released?
2015.
2015.
So Trump.
It would have been
No, it
Barack
was a year
Obama,
before.
Barack Obama and the Trump coming in
15.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And this thing's still up, huh?
still up.
Oh yeah, you showed it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So pretty creepy. That's one of the things that are in there. I don't think I don't have any more like things that are in the video. Do you have anything else that's actually in the video you want to go over?
There's quite a few. It says a sequence of 20 pair 2-digit characters were found that pointed a latitude and longitude for the White House.
That's
So not only did it say kill the president and strike an arrow through the heart of an eagle, and that the eagle was a virus, and that these people were intended to be the cure, right? Or they're going to protect the body. But it also had 2 strips of numbers that were translated inside this video within the audio that basically said, here's the coordinates. And it was Latin long for the White House. And then there was a much larger message kind of spread throughout in a number of different ways that basically was all characters together. Kind of makes it's a little tough, but it basically says, stand and fight. We must take down the black beast, his disease, or all with the rest. It's weird, but they reference a couple other things in the video. So the black doctor mask, right? The original intent was we talked about the
plague doctor.
The plague doctor. Thank you. Thank you. I'm reading it off the page here, so excuse me. It references back to the Black Death that ravaged Europe. Do you know what year that was?
No, not offhand.
1371.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the end of the video is, what's the name of the video again?
11B-X-1371.
1371. So there's no reference to it in the video other than the mask that he's wearing, the costume that he's wearing. That was supposed to be a tie back to that.
And that there's a disease and that he's the cure.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Now, this is why we were saying early on when we were talking about this, how there's a reference to kind of what's going on today as far as the virus and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that it probably would have made more sense to drop this today, but it was released in 2015.
But I think wasn't Ebola like big right then, or like there was some
there was some
other
stuff that was coming
on.
back, but I don't know it was like high spreading.
Yeah, I mean there's always
something, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I think swine was really big during Obama's administration.
Yeah, the H1N1.
Yeah, that too.
That was 2008.
Yeah,
so it was like,
man. So you got this video, and all angles of this video are pointing to. Let's go back to the gang signs he's throwing up. What's with that?
So those are part of the bigger messages. I guess the numbers that he's referencing, and then you tie that in with, I don't know if you saw at the very end, there was a little square that come at the corner and had triangles.
Bottom right. Yeah.
All of those are what ended up being put together to come up with the coordinates for the White House.
Oh.
Because he only throws up a few numbers, right? And he does it in a couple of sequences and then moves on.
And this, you'd have to look this up. But if I recollect right, like Sweden's part of the Geneva Convention, and I think they're a neutral-based party. So like when they their stance, and that's why they hold like a lot of different world conferences there. I want to say it's Sweden.
So we were trying initially. The people were trying to figure out what this is.
Why would you send it to this particular? Like, why would you send it to a Swedish and not anywhere else in the world, specifically them? And I'm just thinking,
So you got the internet sleuths, right? The people out there that are trying to solve what this is.
Right.
It didn't take long for someone to identify where it was recorded.
Right.
And so it was recorded in Poland at an abandoned warehouse. The graffiti, I believe, still existed.
Right.
Because it was recorded before and after the graffiti was put up in order to pitch or stitch this together. So, I mean, we can go into more because there were 2 subsequent videos that were put. We're not going to watch those today, right?
Right.
Because really this is about the original intent. Like, what was it? But I think it's good for us to talk about the fact that another video was posted in 2017. And then a third one was posted in 2019.
And all similar
and
content.
Yes and no. I think the first one has the most depth to it. There's the more puzzling stuff. The follow-up ones. And here's the thing. We don't even know that these were posted by the same people. We just assume because of the video. I mean, if you watch the video, they feel very similar.
Well, so basically what happened is during its popularity, like the height of its popularity, tons of people were wanting to take credit for this, right? There was a bunch of people popping up on
Twitter, everywhere. Just
4chan, Twitter, Reddit. They were like,
hey guys, I made a video and I just threatened the President of the United States.
Yeah, like,
the Commander in General.
yeah. They're like, I'm the guy, I'm the plague doctor, right? No, everybody's trying to take credit for it.
And CIA.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Can you come with us?
We need to talk to you.
Yeah. Until there's this one person that rises kind of, above them all. He went by the name of parkerwright. Okay. This is who's going to be our main guy, right? This is the guy who probably is responsible for doing this stuff, right? And so he was taking credit for it. He said, "This is me in the video. I did this video." He showed pictures of the glove he used in it with the eye in it and everything.
And the custom mask.
Yep. And he had a custom mask that he challenged anyone to find another one because I had it custom made, that I have the only one. This is the one in the video. And he, tried to prove other things. He even said, "I'm going to upload another video."
So yeah, let me jump in here. So the original video was posted in April of 2015. This is November of 2015. He is not the only one on the internet saying this, and people are skeptical and everything. He's even showing photos and videos, photos of the items in there, and people are still not buying it. He goes, I will post a new video. The next video will be announced in exactly 1.444 metric hours.
Okay.
Following that statement, a video was posted. It was 11B3-1369. It's black and white. It looks very similar. I believe it even has a lot of the same inserts and stuff like that keep coming into the video. The only difference in this video, one of the big differences in this video, is that there's now a woman. Right. I believe she's got a mask or something covering her eyes or her face.
Right. She looks like some sort of zombie.
She doesn't talk. Nobody talks in the video, but they're doing a lot of the same things. She's a woman in a white dress with face coverings like bandages.
So, the surface shows that this individual has something against the U.S., the president at the time. I guess one of my strangest questions has to go back to the sound of all of these, homicide victims that were killed by, serial killers. I don't, why that of all things? Like he specifically chose, like the Boston Strangler, right? I mean, that's where it's just super eerie and creepy.
Yeah.
There's been tons of people that have had issues with the U.S., especially from other countries. Do we know anything about this Parkerwright? Did we have any background on him or anything?
No, nothing before all this happened. We don't know much about him. All we know is that he uploads this video, the one we just talked about, for proof of him making the video, right? Then he also has the 11BX video. He also uploaded that one up on his YouTube channel as well.
He had a Facebook page that was dedicated to this stuff during the time. And that's where he was putting a lot of his information up. People were very skeptical. He even did interviews with like the Daily Dot, right? They do an interview with them.
In person?
I don't think that it's ever in person.
Like on the phone?
It just says that basically the person that's claiming to do this actually claims to be a U.S. citizen. Now, whether or not that's true, we don't know. But basically, he says here he's a U.S. citizen that lives in Poland.
Okay.
So what's skeptical about all that is that the Poland thing makes sense, right? Because it was identified on internet. Parker, if this is just some random guy, he would know this information. But why would he be a U.S. citizen? Because why would he be targeting this the way he's targeting this? There's no real explanation of that until much later on.
Right. And if he's lived there for a while, I mean, to maintain U.S. citizenship, he would have to have some connection with the government. I mean, otherwise his U.S. citizenship would be, it just, once you're gone for a certain amount of time, your citizenship is so.
Well, you'd have to travel back and forth in order to keep
You'd have
it.
to. Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to maintain some level of, and so this Parker Wright guy, and so based on the stuff that he's put up afterwards, pretty confident he's the one.
Right. It would seem that way.
Well, so by the time he goes to post after posting the second one didn't have the same in-depth layer of working, meaning that it didn't have as many, it had stuff in it, but it wasn't as deep as the other ones. Also took 2 years to do this. So interest slowly started to trickle down by the time the second video came out, only for a later third video to be released in 2019. But by this point, people had already kind of lost hope. And the reason they lost hope is shortly after the second video was posted, I believe Parker Wright in an interview stated that this was an art project. Mm-hmm. Now, I guess the internet kind of broke because it was like half the people were upset that this was just an art project and it was nothing more than that. And the other half thought this is a lie, not real. There's too much information here and you're playing too much with what's being said and how it's being said for this to just be an art project. There was no announcement that there was a third video coming. The third video did come out, but a lot of the popularity of this whole thing has kind of died out, and nothing has come from the third video. Nobody is. Yeah. There's still a group of people that are trying to dissect it all, but nothing revealing has come from it.
And there's nothing in the second video other than he's just trying to prove who he is, right?
Right. The second one doesn't really have much in it because it was made kind of like just to prove identity, I guess. I also want to point out that in another interview, he said that he left the DVDs, one on a park bench and one on a train.
Yeah.
Nothing about the package sent to the tech company. Doesn't say anything about that. So he just said he left 2 DVDs, one on a train, one on a park
actually,
bench.
he does specify why he sent it to the tech company, and it's not specifically to anything. He says he called it business card lottery. He said he pulled out a bunch of business cards. People that handed him at some point from news places for a variety of reasons, and he played business card lottery, and that's who he sent it to. So he did intend to send it to someone like a blog or a news agency, but depending on who he sent it to, because they were like, well, why did you send it to that specific person at this blog business card lottery? So he had answers for all the first video, which makes you believe that he is the true person. My question is like we've seen in other instances, did he say this was an art project to get people off his back? Again, he posted everything on his real channel, assuming that's his real name.
Yeah. Another thing, though, is that around this time, he's claiming it's an art project, that his Twitter got deleted. And I think one other social media platform got deleted. The only thing that's
Facebook
left
is gone.
Is Facebook. And the only thing that's up is YouTube right now. It's just the YouTube videos with 3 videos on there.
And there's like no comments and very little description.
Yeah. So that's the only thing we have left of him right now.
So we don't even know truly if this is his name.
Have?
Oh,
a couple million.
There's a few million on there.
Huh. Yeah, I mean the whole art project thing, I guess if he didn't have the embedded stuff utterly attacking the US and a stance against the president at the time, I would probably be like, yeah, he's just one of these super eccentric artists and they do creepy stuff and it's just weird and spine chilling. But he literally attacks the president of the United States embedded within his video.
Well, talks about death. He shows murder, like actual photos of murder from, a number of like Slayers and Bunny Games and Boston Strangler. There's like It's not just 1 or 2 photos. When you scroll through that thing, it's about a dozen photos, but it says you're already dead in the very beginning, right? So there's this message of death that like rides through the entire video, and you're trying to discover like what he's trying to do. Is he trying to focus on the death of these specific ones? Maybe he just picked random photos off the internet. Maybe that's the case. But the reality is he is identifying the eagle as being infected and spreading a disease.
And it may not just be the president. It may just be democracy itself.
It could
Yeah.
be. It could be.
No, it's an attack. It's at America.
A
Right.
president,
Right.
the
Yeah.
president is the leader of democracy, right? As far as that's it, right? So
It doesn't matter who the
and it
president is. You're right.
does not matter. The coordinates to the White House, the president, he doesn't list the president's name. He doesn't go into anything detail. He just
Right.
specifically
And
says,
that's why I say the president of the time. That's he could have released this 5 years later, and it could have been the president, current president, whatever the case may be. But he's literally, I mean, he's an anarch
yeah.
of some sort.
The worst, I'm going to jump off. The worst explanation that I heard for this is there was a bunch of stuff in that video, which is really funny, but is where the guy's like, this could have been a marketing thing for
That
that movie with Tom Hanks, which it's not the
Inferno.
It's Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Da Vinci Code. Is that what it is? That the
That's
second?
the first one.
So the second one was Inferno, and it came out, I guess, in 2016, and they believed that it had a lot of ties to that movie and this and that. But the problem is if that were the case, it was a failed promo because it never really creates any drive to go watch the movie. But it was during a time where puzzle movies and that type of things were happening, and there was all these codes written in,
And they would have made the code easier. It probably would have.
I mean, maybe we seen things like The Matrix. Like The Matrix, I don't know if you remember this. Like when The Matrix first came out, there was like a game that you could download, and it would just pop up and turn your screen black, and it would just type text across it, and it was actually considered by antiviruses at the time. It was considered a virus because it hijacked your computer. It made it look like everything on your screen was deleting. It was just an overlay. It made everything look like it was deleting, and then it would pop up in green text and say, "Are you ready?" It was probably the most legit thing. I actually, because I was like, I don't know, I was young at the time. I remember sending it to my friends and having them freak out that I just wiped their computer. It was great because it literally,
it was great.
it would literally show a desktop, not your desktop, but a desktop, and it would show like people like taking your hard drives and like dragging them to the trash can, and the icon was just a little smiley face. So there are lots of times where this type of media has been used to amplify something big like The Matrix. Because if you remember, I don't know if you remember way back then, I know we're going back on Matrix stuff, but during this time, if you watch the movie with The Matrix, he talks about Morpheus as if we know who he is already. Well, if you remember, the advertisements that were on TV were very cryptic, and they mentioned Morpheus as a terrorist.
Right.
And the advertisements for the movie were all kind of directed in the sense that we're already in the Matrix, and that the agents and those type of people are trying to talk us out of him being who he is. So we weren't seeing it as a movie trailer. We were seeing it as like a warning poster saying, hey, if you've seen this man, that was the advertisements for the Matrix movie. So they played the advertisements very heavily on the intent of the movie so that you felt immersed before you even got into it.
But it was direct. It was still direct marketing where this is still
correct.
Like that's a stretch.
I agree. I think that this is not the case. And all I'm arguing is that this type of thing has been done before. There's always a point to whatever it's trying to do. And that is not what happens in this video.
Maybe you could look something up real quick for me because there's something else that in this video, it says you've already lost a year, right?
Yeah, you've won.
Well, that was in the description of the video that was posted by someone that according to this has no association to it. He was just one of the guys that received the video.
Okay. So, but I'm just curious. Look up, because at the time it was Obama. Look up his terms. At what point in 2015 was he? Because he was already in his second term.
He was in the end of his second term. 2016, January of 2016 was where Trump took over. So by November, he was in his last year, and as of April, I mean, I'm
just curious. I mean, because you've got all this mass cryptic stuff going on.
We do
really
know
weirded about the sound embedding of these pictures of these dead people.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
Well, some of the sleuths were able, and I wasn't going to bring this up because I didn't think it was relevant, but because you mentioned the term of Obama, I'll bring it up. We know that the filming of the video was done 6 to 8 months prior to being uploaded.
Okay.
So we know that's how long it took to edit, create, and put all that stuff together and then get it delivered to those folks, right? So that's 6 to 8 months before April of 2018 or 2015 would have been what?
So he's a year and a half in. A little over, yeah.
Yeah. So right in the middle of Obama's term is when he at least had the idea or these thoughts to do these things, at least.
It actually translates. I'm looking at it again. It actually translates, you have 1 year less left. I know that's weird phrasing there. It just means you have a year or less.
Left.
Yes. A year or less. I mean, that's basically how it's translated, because everything that was translated was kind of translated in like a broken English almost. Right? You think about it like the eagle equals infected.
Yeah.
Spread the virus. So it was intentionally written in a way to where when it decrypted, even the title was in Spanish, right? So it leads you to think that maybe the person, I don't know, maybe spoke another language, maybe whatever, because a lot of the language when you just,
always living in Poland, at least that's
U.S. citizen living in Poland. I mean, he could be
He's
anywhere.
bilingual and speak Spanish.
It could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
And so a year or less left at, looking at the time frames, he made this video, they posted it, and that's why they're saying a year or less at this point. That was the tail end of Obama's term. So, I mean, I would assume that the government was probably caught wind of this somewhere. I mean, they had to have.
Well,
you can't just let. I'm not saying that anything came of it, but
Oh, I'm sure 100% that
somebody's doors got knocked on. That's for sure.
The reality is,
someone got a phone call.
When me and Cody watched this, like you watch this back, when it says kill the president, that's instantly a felony. Like even in an art project, you've now broken the law. That's a threat, direct threat, or a call to action to kill the president.
Yeah.
So you can't do that.
And you bury coordinates to the White House.
So everything is very cryptic, and as far as we can tell, nothing. And this is probably not something they would have glorified, right? If they did identify this person, maybe the reason he's gone now is because he's been detained. If he's in another country, that's kind of hard to deal with. I mean, I don't really know, but my guess is they would not glorify this.
I don't think. So I don't think Poland has
extradition.
Extradition.
I don't know if it does or not. I mean, they can claim it, but again, that's when you send the CIA. You just have them handle it.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Mr. Parker-Wright is gone. Like you can't. You just threatened one of the most powerful countries in the world through your art project. I that's the part that I'm like. It looks like some dark, eccentric. Just again, there's some artists out there that do some weird looking stuff.
No,
I've seen it, but like this is
it's twisted.
It's super twisted, and it's like a whole nother level. Like you blatantly attack you. I just don't see it as hey, it's an art project.
I don't know. I mean, the world we live in today, I understand. Like I remember, I don't even remember what the tie was, but we were watching one of those, documentaries on Netflix, and I believe there was like something tied to like killings in one of the hotels down in LA or a whole thing. But there was an actual like guy that they said, based on his videos, was satanic. Like he's like a rock star, and he's like biting the heads off crows, kind of like an Ozzy Osbourne kind of thing. And he's like got blood and everything. Total normal dude. He said that's part of his image. He does all these things as part of his image. It's an art. It's an art to be that.
And I get that all the way up to the point where you are blatantly
I 100%
attacking the U.S.
I 100% agree with you. I think that too much attention was being drawn to it, and that he used the art thing as a way to get away from it. The only reason I argue that is because he released another video, and he was trying. It's almost like he was trying to reclaim some of the glory he lost, but he got afraid because of the attention that he was drawing. I mean, even in an interview. Now, we're assuming that he's the guy, but there's a lot of evidence to point that he was, because he said, I'm going to release a video. It had a lot of the same content. The glove, I believe, is in that one again. It just didn't have it. And again, Cody was right. Was it 6 months to a year? He took him to record the first one. That second one, he released a lot sooner, like the end of November. So I want to go back to I don't know if it means anything. The binary being translated, right, was muerte for death. It was in Spanish, and so it's been translated wrong a lot. I'm literally reading here, and this guy's, I'm Portuguese, and when you read it in Portuguese, that's how it reads. But he goes, this guy says, I'm Mexican, and the other guy's like, I'm Spanish, and this is actually how it reads. It says, you still have less than 1 year left. So that's how it translates. So when we're talking about the president,
back to the end
April
of his term.
25th, this is the end of his term. You have less than 1 year left. They are targeting the president. And everything. What's weird about that, though, is that they say ABTEX has nothing to do with the origins of the video, and that he was just another guy to post it. when you see stuff like this, unless he was instructed to post it with these titles, so he could have received instructions to do so.
Right.
That's pretty damning.
Yeah.
Like how do you explain this away? So my thought is they're probably getting pressure. He's probably getting a lot of attention, a lot of pressure, and he's just trying to get it to go away. It's art. Now, again, kill the president was an anagram, which means that somebody has to make it spell that. He didn't write that. So there is an out in the sense that I didn't threaten the president. That's just random letters, and it just so happens to spell kill the president. So there's a way for him to explain this away.
Yeah.
But for him to say that this is an art project, when I read that or saw that in the video, I was like, I don't know. Like,
there are other things that are like inside that video that don't really go anywhere.
Right.
Like there's one in there that someone deciphered, and it just says A4 to chess checkmate. And it doesn't really mean anything, or at least yet. I mean, there's nothing to tie it to. So he could use that as saying, I have tons of things in there that mean nothing. This red lips like 10 thing just happened to be one of those things. It's not my fault if it's an anagram that resolves to kill the president. So,
well, and I think back to our Reddit Enigma post, right, where we had like thousands of posts.
Yeah.
And they only deciphered 5.
Yeah.
He could just be like, oh, I just put random characters out there, and you ran with it and created what you guys wanted. You saw what you wanted to see, right? You only found the coordinates for the White House after you saw Eagle and after you saw kill the president. So you're making this into something it's not. I'm sorry.
There is this thing called circumstantial evidence.
Yeah. No,
like you can explain away the anagram, sure, but then the coordinates to the White House, the Eagle is the virus.
I'm sorry, but there's a clear message in there. When you're watching it, you do not get that clear message. But the more you dig into this, there is a clear message in there. And that clear message is that Eagle I intended as America being a virus. Now, it specifically targets the president when it says kill the president, gives the White House coordinates, which is the capital for us, right? And even goes a step further when it says death and you have less than 1 year left. Right? I'm sorry, but that spells a lot. And so for there not to be anything from... Now, again, the last video was posted in 2019. Maybe there is more of it. Maybe with COVID. I don't know. But man, this is scary stuff when you see stuff like this.
Hey, Mexico's looking better and better every day. Cabo, here we come. I'm just... Listen, because this... Just the video itself, for all you guys listening, if you get a chance, first off, don't watch this video with your kids. There's not anything like, no swearing. There's no nudity. There's not anything that would signify, a rated R.
The images we're talking about are not in the video.
They're not.
They're in another video.
Again, for you guys listening, had they not just showed me what those sounds look like on a spectrum, I wouldn't have known. So, but it is very, very eerie. It is very creepy. Watching a minute of it, if you've watched any ounce of horror flicks in your life, you're gonna be it's gonna make the hairs stand up. It's going to, 100%. And then just hearing all this stuff behind it, it's like, yeah, I guess you could take the 1% chance stand out that some guy just was like, hey, I'm gonna create some art and I'm gonna make it super cryptic and very eerie because I'm the next Stephen King of YouTube, and there you have it. But then you add in all this stuff that targets America, targets the president of the time, puts the coordinates of the White House, all buried deep within this stuff that, again, just looks like some, plague doctor running some, numbers on his hands and then a bunch of strobing lights. Again, if you've got epilepsy, probably not a good idea to watch it. But I don't know. Guy's creepy for sure.
So should I link this on our Facebook and our other all of our social media?
I mean,
I think there's enough there.
I think we should just put a warning.
Yeah. I mean, it's warning just because it's creepy as
super
heck.
creepy.
Super creepy.
You will be creeped.
But like I said, we're digging into it. So now when somebody goes back to watch that video, they'll be like, "Oh, whoa, that means something that I can't get." Because the first time you watch it, you're just like, "This is." We just played it for your wife.
Yeah.
And she's like, thank you for that. She couldn't even make it through the whole video. She's like, I can't do this. The sound alone is making me cringe. Isn't that crazy? That the sound is making her cringe and she has no idea what the sound is.
I didn't. Like I said, it really had this. And that's why I come back to, it's like they reverse engineered these horrible pictures of just pure death And again, not just people dying, we're talking murdered, and that's the sound that it makes. Like,
Yeah.
when you put that together in itself, you're like, what? You know, because the sound is very horrifying. If you don't watch the video, you just close your eyes and listen to the sound, it creeps you out. It's creepy.
So I think as homework, I think the people listening really need to go watch that video. I'm going to post it on our link. I'll post it the same day as the podcast comes out. That way people can see what it is we're seeing, because this is really visual. A lot of what we're telling you is digging into it all, but if you want to experience it and then listen to us and then go back and watch it, you'll understand more about what we're talking about if you can see it. It's only like 1 minute and 59 seconds long, so it's very short.
I think it's imperative that they watch it. Again, you know, there's not anything, just all you listening, there's nothing that would, like, if you were to put a rating on it, it would probably still fall under PG-13 only because it has a dark, ominous feel to it. But other than that, there's not any swear words. There's no words at all. Well, I guess there's some whispering that I didn't even hear.
You really can't.
Tell me if you guys can hear the whispering.
I can't hear the whispering. I tried to listen back. I can't. But supposedly you can take that audio when they break it out and they amplify it. You can hear whispering, and there's 2 different phrases. And that was the phrases that we read to you guys earlier. But yeah, it gives you, I just saw you get the chills.
I do have the chills.
You just got the chills.
Like 30 times. I'm telling you, because I'm just like, you know, the president stuff and all that doesn't give me the chills because so many people have just had issues with America. Americans have issues with America. You know, we're not a perfect country. No country truly is. But you get kind of used to it because there's always going to be the opposite side. There's always going to be the anarchists. You know, they've been around forever. But on this whole other level, I mean, again, I just got to go back to the sound in itself, and then the creepy images that back up the sound, and then this guy standing in this plague doctor outfit. Everything put together was 1 minute of horror. It literally, I mean, and then you just back up the fact that he's targeting the U.S. all at the same time.
I know what I'm being.
I hope it's not some mad scientist like developing some, you know,
some virus that takes over the world.
I don't know, but
utterly obliterate everything.
I know what I'm going to be for Halloween.
Wow. I'm just
going to carry my Bluetooth speaker around, right? With my other glove that flashes.
I
wonder if anybody would get it. That'd be great.
I'd get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, is it possible? I mean, we do conspiracies and mysteries. Is it possible to find a happy one?
Happy mystery?
Is there a happy or a great or a just, you know, not that there's anything wrong with it being a little heavy all the time, but man, you watch something like this,
gold at the end of the rainbow,
huh?
You know, you're like,
yeah.
I mean, we do have St. Patrick's Day coming up with leprechauns.
You guys want to go for a ride?
Happy
up to Orville? I know about the service trailer.
I'm good.
If you don't know, go back and listen to episode 14.
Yeah, I'm good. The 5 was creepy in itself. Beyond
just the unknown about it is what's crazy. But anyways,
yeah,
I don't want to dissect that. If you guys want to listen to more about that, that was about the missing County 5, Yuba County 5 from I think the 78. So we just posted that one. That was episode 14.
The front end of the story, you're just like, but when you dig in deep to the detail, and it's just like, I swear we're going down deeper in the rabbit hole here.
Well, I just think it's crazy to live here. We live in this area. I mean, we're not that far from where all this stuff happened, and it's eerie, man.
Yeah,
eerie.
There's more and more, and then it's all kinds of crazy, just like this video. So definitely watch the video. And in fact, as if you start listening to this episode, I would recommend maybe stopping and watching the video first so you can get a feel for it. I guess you could listen to the episode first and then go back and watch the video, but I definitely am curious to know the impact it has on you if you watch it without, you know, knowing the detail. So hopefully when we post this up, we can put a little blurb about that. Just, hey, watch this video first before you listen to this episode.
So I do the new episode drops. I can throw out like a video, like they have the what's it called, the Plague Doctor video logo that goes with this thing, but I'll also put on there, you know, hey, link it is on our Facebook page, Twitter, whatever. Watch the video first before you watch it, right? I can put something up real quick as a message on next Thursday when it gets dropped.
I'm gonna have to go home and watch 10 hours of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse to counteract the 1 minute of this video that I just watched and talked about. So,
I think it's a wrap.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I'm having standing nightmares as we talk about it. Anyways, let us know. Check it out. Watch the video. Definitely creepy as all get out. Again, not even knowing what's embedded in the video, you'll see. Check it out. Follow us on all of our social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And again, if you guys could go down the list of episodes, whichever one was your favorite, little ellipses, a little 3 dots, you click it, and there's a share option. Share it. And if you want to share a little bit about why it's your favorite, we greatly appreciate it. We appreciate you guys as always. We love you, and we are out.
Peace out.